Hi folks, and welcome to this short video on pay equity. We spoke a little bit about pay equity when we were looking at trends in compensation, and we said that it was really legislation that was aimed at women in the sense that we want to make sure that women are paid equally to men when they perform work which has equal value to that of men. So the goal is to eliminate what we historically have known to be a wage gap between work that women do, and if men do the same work, men seem to get paid higher. So it's that wage gap that we're trying to eliminate. Now, how did it happen? Well, I guess it happened many years ago when women were out working part-time and earned less money because they were traditionally in jobs that paid less. When women went into the full-time workforce and were competing to jobs equivalent to the same jobs that men were competing for, I think that stigma of being able to pay women less just kind of followed them. So we have this wage gap today. So how do we determine the value of a job? We look at the amount of skill, effort, responsibility, and we also look at working conditions for each job. Okay, in order to determine what kind of education and experience you need, what kind of effort you have to put forward on the job, if it's physical or mental effort, what kind of responsibility you have, so how high up in the organization are you, how does what you do affect other parts of the organization, is this a significant effect or not? Because if it is, that means you have more responsibility and more opportunity to directly impact the operations of the company. And of course the working conditions really look more at, do you work in adverse conditions, maybe extreme heat, extreme cold, those kinds of things. And we look at each job on that basis, and we set a salary based on those four what we call compensable or for pay equity factors in order to determine the value of a job. And then it doesn't matter who's doing the job, if you're male or female. We assess the job, not whether or not it's a male or female in it. And that job is paid in accordance with these four factors. Okay, now the law in Ontario is for both public and private organizations with more than 10 or more employees, they have to have some form of pay equity in their company or have developed a pay equity plan and performed pay equity in order to make sure that women who are doing work equal to that of men are paid the same. So now let's have a look at the next slide. We're going to get now into a subsequent chapter which is part of pay, but we're looking specifically here at pay for performance. So this is pay that's not solely tied to base pay, but pay for how you perform or what you do in your job. So some examples of that might be piecework or teamwork bonuses. So let's say, for example, you're on a piecework system whereby maybe for every piece you do or for every piece you make, you get 50 cents a piece. So say, for example, I work in a company and I'm making uniforms for Hamilton Police Services officers. All right. Well, don't forget, buttons need to be sewn on those, pockets need to be made, right? Belt loops need to be put on. So maybe if I'm in a production type company, I get paid per button, I get paid per pocket I make, I get paid per zipper I put into pants. I mean, those kinds of things, right? So that's kind of like how a piecework system would work. I might get an annual bonus. All right, based on how well the company does. So say the company makes profit, maybe I get a chance to share in that, or maybe I've just done extremely well throughout the year and my company wants to give me a bonus, which is maybe tied to the contributions I made to the company, and maybe they can measure those contributions. I might get a stock option, which is the option to buy stocks in the company at a later date. I might also get a commission. So in other words, maybe if I sell $100,000 worth of stuff, okay, I get 10% of that, so I get $10,000. If I sell $500,000 of inventory during the year, then I'm going to get maybe 10% of that, which is $50,000, right? So again, you get paid strictly on commission. So those are a few examples of pay for performance setups. We're going to talk a little bit about combination, merit pay, and some profit sharing in a moment.